Have you ever lived so quietly that even your heart forgot how to speak? Elena is 55, a mother, a wife, a woman who thought love was something you folded neatly into routine, comfort, predictability. Banana bread and birthdays, until one October evening, something changed. An unexpected knock, a pair of eyes that saw her, not the role she played, but the woman beneath it all. What followed wasn't scandal. It wasn't chaos. It was something far more dangerous, being seen, being felt, a whisper of a connection neither planned for, but both needed. This isn't a story of betrayal. It's about truth, about emotional awakening, and rediscovering the woman you thought you left behind long ago. If you've ever wondered what it feels like to be wanted not for what you do, but for who you are, stay, watch, listen, like, subscribe, and join us in this quiet, aching, beautiful unraveling. My name is Elena. I'm 55 years old. I've lived most of my life quietly. Married young, raised a son, worked part. Time at the local library, baked more banana bread than I can remember. Love, for me, was always about safety, not sparks. Warmth, not wildness. I told myself that was enough, that it should be. I had routines, familiarity, a good man, a good home. Surprises, I believed, were for novels, for other people. Not for someone like me, who folded laundry on Sundays and made grocery lists with a blue pen. But one Saturday evening in early October, that belief quietly unraveled. The kind of evening when the sky turns soft gray too early and the breeze has a whisper of chill. Daniel, my son, was out with friends. My husband was away again, on a business trip. Silence hung around the house like a familiar coat. I made myself tea, jasmine, the kind I liked but rarely brewed. I wrapped up in my oversized cardigan, the sleeves swallowing my hands, and settled onto the couch. The television was on, but I wasn't watching. I was flipping through old photo albums, something I'd started doing more and more lately. There was one photo that always made me smile. Daniel, gap-toothed, grinning beside Evan, his childhood best friend, holding up a crooked Lego tower. They were maybe 8, happy, unburdened. I was lost in that memory when the doorbell rang. I thought it must be Daniel. Maybe he forgot his key, but when I opened the door, it was Evan. Older now, taller, a hoodie half-zipped, hands in his pockets. The porch light cast soft shadows across his face. He looked uncertain, worn, like he hadn't meant to be here but had nowhere else to go. "Is everything all right?" I asked. He shifted on his feet. "Hey, Mrs. Cole," he said with a quiet smile. "Sorry it's late. I didn't know where else to go." Something in his voice, raw, unsteady, made me step aside. "Come in, sweetheart. You're always welcome here." He brushed past me, and I caught a trace of something, maybe cologne, maybe just autumn and tension. He sat on the edge of the couch, tea untouched in his hands, and stared down at the cup like it held answers. "Daniel's not home," I said. He nodded. "I know. I didn't come to see him." I blinked. That surprised me. He took a breath. "My parents are fighting again. It's bad. I just needed somewhere quiet." I understood more than he knew. There was a familiar ache in his words. "You're safe here," I said. He looked up at me. His eyes were still the same, but deeper now, worn, older, so much older than the boy who used to track mud through my house. "Thanks," he murmured. "You always made this place feel like home." I reached over and squeezed his hand. It was meant to be maternal, a comfort, but when our skin touched, something shifted. Neither of us pulled away. The silence that followed was thick. I stood, more to break the moment than anything. "Would you like dinner? I made a roast." He smiled softly. "Yeah, that sounds good." In the kitchen, I set 2 plates roast, mashed potatoes, green beans, and lit a candle out of habit. I usually didn't bother when I was alone, but tonight I did. He watched me fuss with the plates, and I caught our reflection in the sliding glass door. Me moving with purpose, him still present. Something about it made my chest ache. Dinner was quiet. We talked about safe things, his classes, Daniel's antics, football season. But beneath it, I felt something stretching, pulling, tugging. A thread tying two people together in some invisible way. You always cook like this? He asked. Only when I need to feel normal. He nodded like he understood, and I think he did. Afterward, he helped with dishes. I washed, he dried. We moved in silence, domestic, simple, almost like a ritual. Then our hands brushed again and froze. He looked up. So did I. The room was still, save for the faucet's drip. I'm sorry, he said. For what? He hesitated. Maybe for making this weird. I turned off the water, dried my hands slowly. It's not weird, I said. Not unless we make it. He leaned against the counter, eyes meeting mine. I didn't come here with a plan, he said. I just didn't want to be anywhere else. Something shifted inside me, not guilt, not confusion, just awareness, a sudden realization that I wasn't just someone's mother, not just someone's wife. You've grown up. I said softly, so have you, he replied. I laughed. Please, I'm over 50. You're barely out of college. He tilted his head. That doesn't mean I don't see you. His words landed like a stone in still water. Rippling, disrupting everything. He saw me, not the role, not the responsibilities, me. I don't know what this is, I said, but I've never thought about something like this before. I know, he said. I didn't expect you to. I just feel safe here. I feel real when I'm around you. He didn't ask for anything. He didn't reach for more. He simply stood there, letting the silence say what words couldn't. I should get going, he said finally, before this turns into something we can't take back. I nodded. Let me pack you some leftovers. I scooped roast into a container, my hands shaking slightly. When I handed it to him, our fingers touched again. This time it didn't feel accidental. Good night, Mrs. Cole, he said. Good night, Evan. Then he left. I closed the door behind him and leaned against it, eyes shut. The silence in the house felt different. Charged, not lonely, just full. The next day, I moved through the house like I was sleepwalking. The sun was bright, the kitchen warm, everything was normal, but nothing felt the same. Daniel came home that afternoon, laughing about the movie, talking about diner food. He mentioned Evan had left early, not feeling well. I nodded, played along, but my mind was caught in the ache of what almost happened, or what did happen, in silence. That evening, I couldn't sit still. I folded things that didn't need folding, cleaned things already clean. My heart felt like a kettle left too long on the stove. Then, at 8 p.m., my phone buzzed. Evan, can I stop by for a minute? Won't stay long. I stared at it, reread it, typed, sure, I'm home. I didn't change, didn't light candles, didn't brush my hair. When I opened the door, he looked the same, but his eyes held something firmer. Still waiting, but sure. I shouldn't have come last night, he said, but I'm not sorry I did. I stepped aside. Come in. He walked in slowly as if unsure whether he should. I've been thinking, he said. I don't want to make you uncomfortable. That's the last thing I want. But something's been growing inside me for a while, and I didn't even know what it was until last night. I stayed quiet. When I was younger, I always noticed you, how warm you were, how you saw people. Back then, I didn't understand it. Now I do. Evan, I whispered, I know it's complicated. You're married. I respect that. But I also know we both felt something last night. I turned away. Looked at the photos on the mantle, my family, my life. I've lived so long for everyone else. I said, for Daniel, for my husband, for this house, and I don't regret it. But I forgot how to feel something for me. He stepped closer. Not touching, just near. You didn't imagine it, he said. I felt it too, and I don't expect anything. I just needed you to know. I nodded, slowly, quietly, truthfully. I don't know what to do with this. You don't have to know. Just feel it. I turned. Looked at him, really looked, not Daniel's friend, but a man, honest still, present anytime. I said, barely a whisper, I'll wait. He said, then he left, and this time I didn't feel guilty. I felt alive. The next days were quiet, but it wasn't emptiness. It was the kind of quiet that hums with something just beneath the surface. I moved through my routines, groceries, chores, emails, but everything felt different. Not romantic exactly, deeper, truer. I didn't tell anyone, not Daniel, not my sister, not the neighbor with the male gossip. It was mine, fragile, sacred. One afternoon, I drove without thinking. Ended up at the old park where Daniel and Evan used to play. I sat on the bench under the elm. Then I typed, "I'm here if you want to talk." Same bench, same park. He didn't reply, not right away, but then I saw his car. He walked toward me, calm, steady, no smile. Just presence. He sat beside me, not close, not far, just enough. "I didn't expect to hear from you," he said. "I've been thinking," I replied, "about being seen, about wanting something without being ashamed." I looked at him. "I care about you, Evan, but I also care about the life I've built. My marriage isn't broken, but it's been silent, and maybe that silence made space for something that shouldn't have been there, or maybe it woke me up." He nodded. "Slowly, I understand," he said. "I never wanted to cause harm. I just wanted you to know you matter." I blinked hard, "Thank you." I whispered. We sat in silence, watching ducks circle the pond. It smelled like earth, like memory. "I don't regret that night," he said softly. "Neither do I." I replied, "But maybe what we needed wasn't romance. It was recognition." He turned to me. "Then I'm glad I gave you that." I smiled, and this time it didn't feel confusing. It felt whole. When we stood to leave, he hugged me, warm, full, without need, without regret. That night, I sat at the kitchen table with tea. No television, no albums, just quiet, but it wasn't empty. It was earned. For the first time in a long while, I felt like a woman who could begin again, not because of what almost happened, but because I remembered who I still was. If this story touched something in you, something quiet and deep, subscribe. Like the video, share it with someone who's ever forgotten what it means to be seen. This wasn't about infidelity or scandal. This was about love, emotion, awakening, marriage, longing, truth, about what it means to rediscover the woman underneath all the roles. Thank you for watching, for listening, for holding space for Elena's story. Wherever you are, whatever you carry, remember this: it's never too late to feel something real.